some kind of fish or something. I don't know. Anyway, today I'll be talking about mirrors and what they do. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, this is Kevin with Inventimart, and today we're going to be talking about the Mirror Modifier. And the Mirror Modifier, when you have an object selected, it's under the Modifiers tab. It's the little wrench icon. Go here to Mirror, and with that you can take the object and it mirrors it along that specific axis. It only does it in edit mode when you go into edit mode, so wherever the object is, you need to tab into edit mode, then you can use it. You just create a you just create just like a simple plane. Just start out, for example, we'll go into orthographic mode here, go into tab, the mirror modifier. You can take it and move it, and whatever you do, it mirrors it on the x-axis by default. So if we take this here, and extract both of those, you get an exact copy on the opposite side. You can also do this with the y-axis as well, so it makes a copy on the x part and the y part. So if you take this, this, and this, and move it this way, it gets kind of confusing if you just start out with it and you're not really sure how it works. So one thing you can do is just play around with it a little bit, because you see here I'm just using one cube to manipulate it, and it's making a copy on all the different axes, or the different axes. And here I have 8 cubes, and I'm just working with one, and wherever you do it mirrors it on the opposite. And another feature that you can use with this, if you click on clipping here and you move it to meet the other half on the axis on the other side, it will lock into it, so that way even if you move the entire object, it stays stuck to it. It's like when clipping, it's kind of like with an audio file. If it goes to the complete edge, it stays at the edge, but you have to move it to that edge all the way. And see, whoop. So now those are all kind of stuck together. So if we move this object, we can't move it along the x-axis anymore because it's clipped there. Same with this one, it's stuck with the x and y. And the center one, that one you can't move at all. That's when they're all checked on here. But you can see it's on none of them now. So if we just do the x, it'll stay on that. But once you go out of edit mode, you can apply this, and then it has the full object there. And a good example of this, you can even do this with curves, I think. Actually, I haven't tried it yet. You can try a surface. Not that one, let's try. Surface, yeah, there we go. So we have this here. Let's go ahead and move it out of the way of the X there. See if it'll work with this one too. Nope, doesn't work with surfaces. Oh yeah, it does. There it is. Never mind. It does work. So it does work. Excuse me. So it does work with whatever surface you want to do, because let's start that. Let's try to do this again. Surface, and I'll just go to edit mode. And say we want to edit this. Turn on clipping. I don't know if it'll quite work with that or not. Let's do X and Y. So it's got all these extra things there. Okay, so it won't let you do it while it's curved, so you can Alt-C and then turn it into a mesh, and then it does it. But with that, we have all this extra stuff that's not going to really work that well. But it does work with surfaces, though. Text, I don't know if it works with that or not. It does. So if you need to write something, so it works with mirroring that. You do X, Y, and Z. Except text really doesn't have that much of a thickness to really work on the Z, and it won't let you apply it either, so you can convert that to a mesh, and it actually applies it when you convert the mesh over to what you want it to be. And it also works with these metaballs. And it's kind of funny that ever since I've been using Blender, I thought these were called meatballs. I've been reading it entirely wrong this entire time. I've been using Blender since, well, at least 2013, 2012, 2013, but I've been using it for a long time. I've been calling these meatballs because they look kind of like meatballs, but they're metaballs. And these you can't do mirror on. Just regular curves you should be able to. It's just like the surfaces, I'm sure. Yeah, and it won't let you apply it, but you can convert it to a mesh. And all this other stuff is for more advanced things, but let's say you want to make something. Turn on clipping, X and Y. So you want to extract that, extract that. So I'm wondering if you have it over that, if the clipping's activated and everything, if you'll get double vertices if you do it like this. I'm going to try something to see. Do this exactly on the Z. So that way, because this corner here should be copied exactly on all the rest of them. Yeah, it does do that. So if you do have vertices that are over the line on the mirror part of it, you're going to get double vertices everywhere that where it was over the line. So we had this one, and this one, so all four of those all have multiple vertices. And what you can do to fix that is, in edit mode, hit A until you select everything, and then hit W, and then remove doubles. And that will delete, not really delete, it just joins all the double vertices that you have. And then you're still left with the problem of overlapping everything. So in order to be able to fix that, you would have to come in here and delete only the faces on all of these doubles. Did you see how it's doubled there? And see how that's off center? That's showing that it's not quite like it's supposed to be. And you got this one over here. It's not a proper face because it's showing the border around that. And you have to come in here and fix all of these. And to do that, you have to delete all the faces that aren't working properly. Then you have to go into each one of these and select all the things and hit F to make a new face. But it's better to just make sure that everything's right to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So if we put the modifier on here, add clipping, kind of want to move everything over into one of the quadrants that you're going to be working in. You can use any one of those, so the best thing to do is just get it over into that quadrant you want to use it to mirror it first. That way you won't have that problem. So now that we have that there, we can now manipulate our object however we want. You can even create rows in it and do all kinds of stuff. So that way after we apply it, we select everything and then new doubles. There's 0 that are doubled over. And if you go on the faces mode, everything is proper. So you want to make sure that you're working in just one quadrant of the mirror whenever you're using it. And that way, and turn on clipping, that way you don't get overlapping faces or anything like that that cause any problems. And that's basically just the simple basis behind the mirror function. Like this sphere here, if we tried to mirror this, it would do it on all the different things. Clipping's not on, so you can move the entire object over. But once you turn clipping on, it takes everything that was not an edge connected, and we can bring it over. Then you can work on it that way. So it's kind of a kind of a different thing to use. You can bring it all in. It's not going to be a perfect sphere anymore, but it's kind of how it works. So when it's clipped, it stays locked in. If you turn that off, you can actually move it away. But once you move it in and then let go and then bring it back out, it stays disconnected like that. But mirroring's kind of good for if you want to have something perfectly symmetrical in one axis or more than one. The Z one, I don't know, that one hardly ever gets used, but it does kind of the same thing. Oops. Squished it too flat. Like that, and it's only, so it's of course 1/8 of the entire object. And once you apply it, you get the full entire mesh of the whole thing. And there's all kinds of different things you can use it for. It's making simple objects or complex ones even you could use that with. But I usually like to apply it before I do anything else with booleans or anything like that, because doing a mirrored objects first, Blender likes to do one thing at a time. It's when you stack multiple modifiers to something, it just really doesn't work well. Like if you add a subsurf, then add a mirror, it'll work for the most part. Should be clipping on X. It gets confused and it doesn't really function entirely like you'd want it to. But if you move this one up first, then it would function first. But if you switch them around, then it gets really confused because it's not letting me move the object at all because the clipping is on. Now it'll let me move it, but yeah, it's, if I tried to do a boolean, it'd really confuse everything. I need to create another object first. And let's make a cylinder here. Say we wanted to cut it out of there. We got our boolean to this. Let's see. Shows that it's kind of working, but if you apply the boolean, it gets all messed up. And it totally doesn't look right. And it applies the boolean in the mirror mode. So what you would want to do is you would want to apply the subsurf first, then apply the mirror, and then you can apply the boolean. And then you get a nice clean hole. So you always, if you can, it's best to apply the modifiers before you work on anything else. But that's pretty much it, all I had for today, and thanks for watching. Take care.